Welcome everybody to another episode of Conversations with Coach Kevin. I am your host, Kevin Thornton, the wellness architect, life coach, and author. Today, I'm very excited because I went home maybe in Memorial Day weekend and I got re-energized. Um, I got everything because I was around truly black excellence as true core. A lot of my classmates are doing amazing things, and it just shows that just because you come from a predominantly black school, you can't become part of greatness. And this one guy was like one of the first ones I text and reached out to once I got back to Atlanta and said, I need to talk to you. I need to be me and you need to do something together because I really appreciate what you're doing and what you're doing for black men. So I want to introduce to y'all Mr. Brad Bowling. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent, Kevin. I love your posts, the words of inspiration, bro. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. Um, Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how'd you get to this point right here, right now.
So my name is Brad Bowling. I'm the president of Coda Magazine, which is the nation's only African American magazine for men across the country. Uh, our goal is to showcase and highlight Black men doing incredible things. And we needed a publication like this because we don't get many opportunities in mainstream media to celebrate us,
Mm-hmm.
uh, understandably, right? And so we needed our own platform where the guy who ordinarily wouldn't get recognition in mainstream media, he's able to get that with Codem.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I take a look at myself, my parents, my relatives, my children, we wanted to create something that we could use as a platform to celebrate positivity because there aren't many places where Blacks are celebrated. So
Absolutely.
sometimes when you see a void, you can either complain about it or you can do something about it. And we chose to do something about it, Kevin.
I really, I really appreciate that. And it was funny because you know, you reached out to me in the very
Hmm.
beginning stages and you interviewed me. And I was really appreciative of that because, like you said, you know, you allow people who are not seen nationally are seen, across your platform. And
Right.
it was amazing to me because I just do what I do. So I don't
Hmm.
know how people see me or anything like that. So when I
Right.
went home, it was overwhelming to a certain extent because
Yeah.
as I walked around, especially during the picnic, folks was like, "Can I take a picture with you? You're famous to us." I'm like, "I'm not famous." I said, "No, you might not be nationally known famous,
Right.
but you're famous to us for what you're
Right.
doing and what you're being." And so I was like, "Damn, that's crazy how people perceive us, perceive me." And so it's like that made me want to take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Because
And,
the people appreciate what you're doing, Kevin. I mean, it's needed. You know, we don't have many opportunities to celebrate the incredible things that we're accomplishing. And I'm talking about not on a national stage. I'm talking about the guy who locally cuts grass for some church that he belongs to, or a guy that started a little league baseball, like B-Buzz Baseball. It's for kids, it's by local kids, and he's doing everything he can. He's probably using his own money to so those kids can have a place to play. And
mhm,
so we have to celebrate those kinds of people, because if we don't, who will?
absolutely. And that was like my whole purpose of doing the podcast. When I started back up, I had people in my ear was like, "You need to start back up because we miss you, because you showcase black men or people in general who are doing great things locally that would never be seen on national TV,
Hmm.
and especially with black men because they want to showcase us in a positive light."
Hmm.
And so, when I saw what you was doing, it just really just got me motivated to say, "Okay, I need to talk to Brad." Because not only are you doing a magazine for black men, but also you walk the walk because John, you're showcasing, you're taking people that you know, you
Yes,
you taking former classmates.
I
And
am.
you say, I want you to be my fashion
Yes,
editor. I
yes,
want you to be my fitness guy.
yes.
You know, that's to me is like amazing to me because
So, with the magazine, I can't do it by myself. My business partner and I, Bilal Akram, we can't do this by ourselves. It takes a community. And when I see talent, I reached out to it. And so ironically, Warrensville was Mecca before Mecca. It was Wakanda before Wakanda, Kevin. You
absolutely.
know that. And so there's some incredible people that came out of Warrensville that are coming out of Warrensville. And as I was growing the magazine, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to LaRon Harlem, who is an incredible photographer and has a flair for fashion. And I needed to enhance my fashion section. So I reached out to him and said, bro, would you come on board and be my fashion editor? And he said, absolutely. And then, because we have diversity in the magazine, I reached out to Juan, and it took us a while to kind of get on the same page to figure out the best way to do it. But
Hmm.
Juan came on board. He's our health editor. And then Randy Silvertooth, who's in tech, had
Hmm.
reached out to me. He said, hey, man, would you ever have any interest in having technical articles in the magazine? Because Black people, we use technology every day. We need to have a better relationship with technology if we're going to survive the AI industry, right?
Hmm.
AI is wiping out the drive-through attendant. AI is wiping out AI is wiping out a lot of different jobs that Black people typically hold,
Hmm.
and we need to prepare our people for AI. And so Randy was like, I can speak to that. And I said, hey man, go for it. So we gave him some ideas about writing, some article ideas. We put him with our managing editor to kind of get his writing craft on point, because we write from an 11th grade level, and then
Hmm.
we write only in third person. And so you have to kind of get used to how Codem writes. And so it
Hmm.
took him a minute working with our managing editor to get where we needed him to be so then we could publish his content. But he was an amazing writer already. He just needed to get Codem ready. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so he's been incredible though, bro. Juan, I can't wait to get his first article, which comes out in August. And then LaRon's been with us for a couple years now. And when I tell you, his photos are amazing. I mean, like, we are who we are only because of people like LaRon.
I like
So
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Yes,
I
sir. And
really do.
don't let me forget Larice Purnell, who is doing our financial. He's our financial editor, who's from Warrensville as well. And so, yeah, man, look. If we don't celebrate us, and if we don't use us, if we don't
Hmm.
employ us, if we don't encourage us, who will? I want this to be infectious across the country. I want Black people saying, "Look, I'm going to go into my wheelhouse and my circle and my own Rolodex, and I'm going to use people that I know and give them an opportunity." Codem is not for me; it's for everybody, Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. So, how'd you get to this point? I know you came from corporate and now you're doing your own thing. How did you decide to make that transition from corporate America to now entrepreneurship? Because I know a lot of our people who are watching know that's the thing everybody's trying to push down their throat, to do have your own thing, have your have
Yeah.
your own business. So for the listeners, tell them your journey and how you got to this point of entrepreneurship and what do you recommend if they
Yeah. So, I have my undergrad in journalism, my master's is in marketing.
okay.
So before Codem, I had a marketing agency where I was doing marketing for other companies.
Hmm.
And so, one of the best things about marketing is you get to help other people make money. But one of the worst things about marketing is you get to help other people make money.
Right.
So I was like, I got to figure out a way to use marketing for me. I need my own business where I can use all of the skills that I've gained over the years in doing marketing for other people and use it for me. And so Bilal and I teamed up with Code M, and Code M is a magazine. We have a cigar line, we have a clothing line, and then we have a nonprofit. So we've created platforms that we own, that we derive revenue from for ourselves, and then we had to make sure that we came out with a good product. And so if I had to give somebody advice who wants to start their own business, I would tell them, you have to make sure you're solving a problem. You can't just say, well, I'm gonna put cameras online and I'm gonna sell cameras, because that doesn't solve a problem. You have
Right.
got to find a way to solve a problem. Your product or service will become viable and valuable to people if it solves a problem. So with a lot of intentionality, a lot of insight, a lot of research, Codem solves the problem. We're the only magazine for Black men in the country. Ironically, though, 55% of our readership is women, 45% is men. So we even resonate with women. Dare
Really?
I say more, because, our sisters, mothers, daughters, they read the magazine and they give it to their brothers, husbands, sons.
Hmm.
And so we say we're a men's magazine, but we're really, because we're 55% read by women, we're for everybody.
That's crazy that we you created it for men, but majority of the people are women who are reading it. That's
And,
crazy.
and, and let me just, if I can make this point, if you're going to start your own business, you might have an idea of who you want to service,
Hmm.
but you really need to wait and find out who wants you, right? You start a business, you say, okay, well, I'm going to make these pens and I'm going to make them for green people. But what if red people want those pens? You have to pivot. You cannot be so beholden to your idea that you can't pivot and go in a different direction, because you
Hmm.
just don't know who's going to want your business. And so when we found out that women were reading us more than men, we made sure that we put articles in a magazine that resonate with women. And so we publish both. We do profiles on women, even though we're a men's magazine. We love women, right, Kevin? You love to see what they look
Absolutely.
like. You want to hear
Yeah.
what they think. You want to read their opinions. Women need to be celebrated as well. So every May we have a women's issue. So I, that's another piece of advice I would give to somebody if they want to start a business: is don't be so beholden to what you're trying to do that you can't pivot and service the people that want you.
You are you are very amazing at what you do. I'm just by listening to you, because for you to have a May episode, base a May edition for the women, that speaks volumes to you, because especially in this day and age where women feel to seem like black women feel to seem like they're not celebrated enough, especially by us.
Correct.
And
Right.
so,
Well, we did it to commemorate Mother's Day.
mhm,
And so, even though we're a men's publication and you probably won't find a female in the cover any other month, the month of May, it's all about women, bro. We celebrate women. All our articles are about women. We have women achievers in the magazine. So we showcase and highlight about 17 to 18 women in that issue on top of the cover, on top of having profiles in the magazine about women. We love our women and we need to celebrate them as well. So once a year, it's all things women, Kevin.
so let me ask you a question. I coach a lot of guys, and a lot of them are in the ages of 27 to 35.
Okay.
And that millennial Gen Z group of guys, their mindset is, if I haven't made it by now, I'm a failure. And I want you to speak on the art of a pivot, because you have pivoted,
I have.
and we're older than them. And why is it important not to say that you're a failure, but all to say learn how to pivot and continue to grow towards what you're trying to become?
Well, you know, this is my third business in publishing that I've owned. And life is a long journey. And what I would tell any young man, because I have two sons, I have a 19-year-old and I have a 25-year-old. And my conversations with them is that it's never too late to get it right. Uh, I think there's so much pressure on our young men to look like the celebrities on TV,
Hmm.
to think that they had to have the Rolex at 25, to think that they got to have the drop top Bentley at 30. That's not reality. It takes a long time. I'm 53 years old. I don't have a Rolex. I got a Movado, but I
Hmm.
don't have a Rolex. I got a Tag Heuer, but I don't have a Rolex. And it took me a long time to become the person that I am today. And I think that we have to give our young men the space to make mistakes, to encourage them to fail as often as possible.
Hmm.
We have an article in our June issue, Kevin, where we talk about trading innocence for excellence, or excuse me, for experience. And as Black men, sometimes we have to trade our innocence to gain experience, which means you have to fall in love and fall out. You have to
Hmm.
have your heart broken. You may need to be fired a couple times.
Hmm.
You may need to move several times. You may need to try a couple businesses that fail. It's just money, bro. Go make more money. Don't
Right.
stop trying. The guy who invented USA Today, that was his 13th business before he made it. So go fail as often as possible, because it molds who you are. It makes you the man that you are. You only become valuable from experience, but experience comes with a price.
Yeah.
And so I need our young men to go through and pay the price. Be patient. Pay the price. Move 3 times. Get fired a couple times.
Yep.
Go fall in love and fall out of love. Get with your homies. You're gonna lose some friends along the way.
Hmm.
Stay up at night. Go work 100 hours a week.
Hmm.
Work the day job and then come home and work the night job.
Hmm.
Make sure that the bills are paid. We teach our readers the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where food, shelter, clothing is the priority. Make sure that those foundational things are met, and then go attack the world, man. Risk it all. God gave you one life. Go live
You said a lot, brother, because what you said is completely true. You know, and I could just take myself as an example. Atlanta is my third place I lived outside of
it.
Cleveland. I went to college in Michigan. I went to Eastern Michigan, lived in Detroit,
Yep.
left Detroit, went to Indianapolis, and then Indianapolis, they moved down to Atlanta.
Okay.
And so it in each city, I had a different mindset. And then once I got to Atlanta, is where I got down to this mecca where everybody is like out to get it. And so now, for a person who never had an entrepreneur spirit ever, now here comes this guy in his 30s at that time saying, I'm gonna build my own business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go from corporate America to becoming this life coach because I need to be a vessel of light for our men. And like you said, it doesn't happen overnight. You had to start all over a couple of times, which I had to, because things happen.
Yes.
You know, you have to work a day job or a night job to do this until everything comes to how it's supposed to come. And I think you don't never, like you said, you don't never supposed to give up. You just keep on trying until it manifests what happens.
Yes, sir.
And so what you're saying to me is very inspirational to everybody else, but also inspires me because I'm just saying this is your third time doing something and you still rocking it, you still rocking it hard. All that did for me is push me even harder to
Mm-hmm.
go to what I'm going towards. Because we both are doing God's work in our own different way.
Right.
And I said 2024 is the year of the black man. So each of us have a purpose or a divine assignment, but it's in different lanes. I'm the life coach. You're the magazine.
Right.
You can disseminate all the perfect information that need to be had, so these men can be inspired, educated, and empowered to be their best selves. So
And
we
Kevin,
need, yes, sir.
you have to put yourself out there. I was thinking about when you were talking, I was thinking about how when I see your Facebook posts, we can't care what people think about us.
Hmm.
When I write articles for the magazine, I'm being judged every single month about how I write, what I write about,
Hmm.
and the look of the magazine. Oh, is he getting too big for his britches? Does
Hmm.
he thinks he's better than somebody else?
Yep.
Well, first of all, I'm very humble.
Hmm.
I will never allow the magazine to make me think that I'm something I'm not. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for all black men and black America.
Hmm.
And I can tell you're doing the same thing. So, we can't control people's perception of us. We're going to stay humble. Man, I love to be teased. I love to tease. I love to laugh. I don't take myself too seriously, and I can tell you don't. And I
Hmm.
love the fact that you created your podcast because you're exposing yourself, and sometimes exposing yourself, you open yourself up to criticism.
Yep.
But but if you don't do it, Kevin, who will? So I applaud you, man, for doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that. And then too, you said something that was very true. In this day and age, for what the assignment is for all of us, we can't do it by ourselves. I can't do everything by myself. You can't do everything by yourself. And it's like we have to come together and help each other out, whether me giving you a platform to talk about your vision or why you're doing it and be the inspiration that you are right now. And also, but then on the flip side, you put me in your magazine to be interviewed by you guys so the world can know who I am and what I'm doing,
Hmm.
you know. Um, and I just think if we all start to learn how to collaborate and not be selfish to say, I'm all about me, I think the greatness in us as a community will showcase itself faster than it really can be.
Yeah, and so when the magazine started to do well, and I'm very proud to say that the magazine is exploding across the country.
Mhm.
But here in our own backyard, there was some people who I think sometimes felt like we were competition to them, and we're not. And so we had to sit down and really have a good discussion about how we're not competition to anybody. We're competition to our the next level that we're trying to hit. And after we
Mhm.
had that conversation, we all agreed, okay, let's get this done. Let's find a way to partner. And so I encourage our people to find a way to partner. If you have,
Mhm.
something you can share, if you have a product that you can promote, you're not competition for anybody. You get together, you get on the same page, you find a way to work together, and you both grow together, bro. It will accelerate your business. It will create friendships, lifelong friendships that you didn't have before. And it will create even more meaning for your mission, because now it's servicing other people. And so, the goal of Code M is to highlight and showcase people doing incredible things. And so we have to make sure that we're providing those services to our own people, man. And I can't tell you, man, I wake up every day. I love my job. I love my job.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that what you just said, because I just think people need to understand that we have to be able to collaborate. Um, and my next thing for you, the question I want to ask you is, what's next for you in Codem, and what's your ultimate vision for yourself?
So Code M is a magazine right now. We have our nonprofit, but we give away tickets to games. We take kids on respite, so we'll take them to the aquarium. We'll take them out of town. We do different things like that. But we want to expand that nonprofit because the purpose of the magazine is to celebrate us. But the power comes from being able to give back.
Hmm.
So we've been doing live activations for the last couple of years, and we want to start doing more of that, where we go out and we literally touch people and we change people's lives, whether it's help with an elderly person and cleaning up their house and doing some maintenance on their home, whether it's taking kids on respite and restoring empathy to them. But the goal for Code M is to be able to be more impactful on a daily basis. Like, I get where people might read an article and be inspired, but I really want to touch people, man, at a visceral level, because
Hmm.
post pandemic, man, the world is different. Like, I've never seen us more isolated and more in pain than I have
Yeah.
right now. Like, we're suffering, bro.
Yeah.
Um, you can tell it out in everyday life. You can look at the stories that you're seeing on TV, the
Hmm.
people that I'm interviewing. And so, you know, somebody has to create a movement where we restore faith in each other,
Hmm.
faith in ourselves. And sometimes that's as small as, here's a meal. Let's fix your AC. Let me remind you how wonderful you are. Here is a hug. And
Right.
so for myself, what I'd like to see, well, I'd like to see Codem impacting as many people as possible. We have white readers, we have brown readers, we have yellow readers. So I'm not just saying we're a black publication, but overwhelmingly black people we need to come together and figure out a way to have success at life. Now, one of our mottos is, you know, we want to save the black family, but before we can save the black family, we have to save the black man. And so
Hmm.
we want to restore black man to their rightful position of leader.
Yep.
We want to get our black sisters to fall in line and say, "Hey, you're masculine. I love masculinity. You're strong. You may not be the breadwinner, but you provide provisioning and protection, and I need that. I
Right.
have something you need. You have something I need. We can come together. So let's save the black family." So that's my goal, bro, is to be impactful, leave a legacy. Um, Obviously, leave a generational wealth to my children.
Hmm.
Uh, but it's to service. It's to service. I think I get 10 times back when I service, my mission of helping other people, bro. I love what we do.
Absolutely. Okay. There's so much I want to say from what you just said. Let me take time. First and foremost, what you said about if we're going to build the black family back together, it starts with the black man. And that's very true. And that's why it's very important to me to be the coach for black men. I coach women as well, but I'm unapologetically coaching black men. And what I think people don't really understand is how broken the black man is, and how broken they feel like they are not seen, they feel like not heard. The fact that a
Not
lot of
valued.
not valued, you know, it's hard to, I'm coaching these guys, and you said something about having a heartbreak, and I'm at that point when I'm telling them, bro, it's okay. You in a safe space, let your heart break. Your heart is broken. Now I need you to let your heart break. So then together as a team, we can put it back together
Hmm.
and restore the greatness. I don't
Correct.
think I don't think everybody understands that. And I said, and so until we are able to collaborate and do things to help the black men be their best selves, then everything else will follow. Because what I think people don't understand is it's very intentional for the black men to be attacked, because they know that we are greatness.
Hmm.
The problem is the oppressed mindset of us don't see the greatness in us. So so it's up to you and me to showcase and let them know how great they are.
I agree with you. Sometimes people need an example
Hmm.
that they can follow or they can emulate or they can mimic. And so I have people come up to me all the time and they appreciate what we're doing. And sometimes they ask why. And I don't stop people from coming up to me and talking. And,
Hmm.
I've had great conversations with people when they're like, Brad, how did you do this? How are you doing this? I don't understand how you're doing this. I need to know how you're doing it. I'm like, bro, I get up every day. I put one foot in front of the other. I
Hmm.
make as many mistakes as possible. You might find some grammatical errors in the magazine. You might find a picture that might not be as clear as it should be. You might find, some other errors in the magazine, but I'm not letting my errors stop me, bro. I'm not letting the fact that we're not a $100 million media empire stop me from doing what I need to do. And if
Hmm.
I got to limp along till I get it right, I'm going to limp along till I get it right. And so forgive my errors, forgive my mistakes. If you see one, just know that we tried to catch it, but maybe we didn't. If you see a photo that came in and the resolution is not as high as we wanted it to be, I know that too. But guess what? I'm not letting that stop me. I'm not a perfectionist.
Hmm.
This has to be done whether I've got the money to do it or I don't. There's times, bro, where advertisers listen. Advertisers don't always pay on time. Sometimes we don't bill on time. Things happen, Kevin. But the one
Hmm.
thing that won't stop is my drive and my desire to be the best person that I can, with whether I got a can of beans or I got a steak in front of me, bro. Whether I'm hungry or I'm full, you're gonna get the best of me because I can't be stopped. I can't be stopped. And that's the mentality I want our black men to have, especially our young men. Don't stop. I don't care if it's not perfect. I
Right.
don't care. Do it anyway.
Your drive is infectious, and it's motivating me to ask you this from me.
Okay.
What can I do to help you in your journey?
So I would love to collaborate and, get your logo throughout my company, get my logo throughout your company.
Hmm.
Find a way to partner to uh, maybe some of the articles that we have in the magazine, we bring to life through your podcast and have discussions about it.
Absolutely.
The people we interview, we forward to you so you can interview.
Okay.
Um, and brother, we just help each other. Like put my magazine out through your database. I'll put your podcast out through my database, and now we got double the database,
Right.
right? So instead of you working 3 years to go get 500,000 names, I'll put you out through my database. And instead of me taking 3 years to go get the 300, 400,000 people watching your podcast, If you put me out to your database, now we've just doubled the exposure of our entities to each other, and we just
Mhm.
continue to grow and grow and grow, and we do that together. So, and we could talk more about it offline, bro, but that's just a couple ways that you can
Right.
help, and I could in return help you with what you're doing, Kevin, because I'm not trying to be you and you're not trying to be me. There is no
Absolutely not.
competition here.
There's no
But we can
competition.
collaborate.
We collaborate because I, I'm being very open and transparent. I need to be surrounded by people who are going to inspire me, and you inspired me, brother,
I appreciate that, bro.
for
And vice
real,
versa, by the way.
for real. And so, like right now, I'm like itching in my seats. Like, what can I do right now to help this brother out? Do I need to fly to Cleveland like right now to help?
Yeah, uh, we're gonna start doing stuff around the country. We're already doing that. We'll be in Martha's Vineyard. We have a couple shows that we're doing in Martha's Vineyard. I'm going to Charlotte, North Carolina next week, working with George Frazier with the PNEX conference. We have some other stuff coming up, man. I say you get on the road with us, man. And we sit in somebody's backyard or on some, at some restaurant, and smoke a cigar. We fellowship. We hang out because I'm
Yeah, I
gonna tell
saw
you,
that.
bro, the hanging out is critical. You need to be around like-minded people. So for
I
anybody
agree.
young, if you got somebody telling you can't do it, if you have a family member telling you shouldn't do it, oh, you too good for this, or you think you man, drop them people. My life is peace, and I
Hmm.
protect my peace at all costs.
And
And
yeah,
so I've lost some
I
friends
want,
along the way.
I want everybody to hear what you just said. A lot of things, especially for a lot of people I coach, that's the fear is as they elevate into their greatness, they scared they're gonna lose certain people. But certain
You are
people, you're going to lose them. But then you'll also attract the ones that's more in alignment with you, who are you are at. And
correct.
so, like I tell people all the time, whoever I meet or whoever I talk to at this moment, we're on the same vibrational frequency at this
Correct.
moment. So there's no mistake or there's no um, coincidence that you and I are having this conversation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was meant for us to have it because we both need each other to do the greatest that we are trying to do. Now I think
Absolutely.
now I think people need to understand that the universe is going to give you your tribe of people that's going to help you get what you need to get to. Then you said another key thing is getting out. That's the thing I've been trying to do more of because I grind so hard is to get out. But I want to get
Mhm.
out and I want to be a network people who are doing like mine as me. And that's one of the things I might try to do is try to come to Charlotte so then I could catch you and Toya at the same time because Toya live in Charlotte.
Come on,
And so,
man. I'll be
and
there
so
Tuesday through Friday next
we
week.
okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, I'll talk to you offline about where we'll be. We'll be to downtown Charlotte. And Kevin, uh, I love this conversation because these are the kinds of conversations that Black men need to have. We can only cry so much. We can only have pity parties so much. No, white people are not. They're not the Republicans. They're not coming to save you. The
Right,
Democrats, even though I love their attempt, they're not coming to save you.
right,
You're gonna have to get up on your own. You're going to have to get this done on your own. You're going to have to find some people that have the same mantra as you, the same fight, the same tenacity. Create peace in your environment. Make sure that you have food, shelter, clothing, so you don't have to worry about a bill coming up. So then that way you can focus on your craft.
right.
I can't write at the level that I write if I'm worried about a bill or I'm hungry or I'm worried about a roof over my head. So I want people go get the job you need to get, create the space you need to create to go do your craft, and then attack it, and don't stop.
I love it. I love it. So before I let you go, um, I want you to give a parting shot to our listeners of what you an inspiring word that they could gravitate to. You said a lot already that's very inspiring, but if I could get one more out of you that's going to inspire them, I really appreciate it.
Well, so the one thing that I want to impress upon people is that every day can't be rosy, right? I know that we look at Facebook and you only see people celebrating and they at this location and they over here and they're at this game. But every day can't be rosy, and that Facebook, I'm just gonna say it's a lie. It's not
Mhm.
reality.
Right.
And I think the one trap that we get into is that people put their lives on Facebook, but they're only putting half their life. They don't put when the car don't have gas.
Right.
They don't put on Facebook when the bill's overdue. They don't put on Facebook when they got into an argument with their boss or their significant other or a child just disappointed them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so I need people to understand that reality is in loving who's close to you. In order to have good friends, you have to be a good friend. And you want to be the best friend you can to yourself.
Absolutely.
And so my advice, or if I had to give a last shout out or whatever you asked me to do, is to become your own best friend.
Hmm.
Eliminate toxicity.
Hmm.
Make sure you get your money on point. At this point, if you're 30, 35, you already know how to make money. And then at the same time, go live your dream. Because there's two times in life that's the most important. The first one is when you're born, and the second is when you find out why you were born. And so I encourage people to go find your why.
Hmm.
Because once you find your why, life is easy.
Absolutely. And with that, I want to say thank you. Don't go nowhere though. I want
All
to say
right.
thank you for being on the show. This has been, I believe, my most inspirational show I've had so far. I had some great ones, but this one here has been very inspirational. It has moved me past you just don't even understand. And so I want to say thank you again.
You're welcome,
Look,
and I appreciate you.
and what I want everybody to know is this is going to be part one of him. Next, I'm working on having his fitness uh, expert Juan Tony on there. So you're gonna get more about Code M through different people because I'm very big on what they're doing, and I want to showcase everybody who's doing great things in Code M because it takes more than just this great man doing a thing. He has a supply of great black men doing excellent things. So I want to showcase all of them the best I can. So the more times I interview his team, the more times people get to see the greatness of Code M. So with that, I want everybody to, if you enjoyed this podcast, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. And until then, next week, say peace.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Kevin.